Welcome to the Clarets game live. Our destination today for our commentary offering today from the Premier League, fourth Premier League game of the weekend. John Stutter to bring you Southampton against Burnley live. The fans just filtering into this vast arena that holds just something like over 30,000. Absolutely, the pitch looks in absolute fantastic condition, although there has been a lot of rain teeming down in the last sort of day or so at the St Mary's Stadium. Floodlights are on. Rain is pouring. The Burnley fans who have made the long trip journey from Lancashire. Some of them will have been in Istanbul the other night. At 0-0 in Europe. Teams are out in a ton of Burnley in their black shirts today. Joe Hart behind there. We'll take a check on the two teams in just a second or two. But really, Burnley finishing 7th last season. Southampton just avoiding a drop. And two former Clarets up against Burnley today. Danny Ings amongst the substitutes and Charlie Austin who starts up front, but we'll give you the full lineups in just a second or two. Southampton in red and white stripes, as you would expect. Burnley in the dark shirts with white shorts today. And our final match of the weekend sees the Clarets in action. Remember, next week we've got them again in Turf Moor, and a double bubble at Turf Moor next week against Istanbul, and then the next Premier League game where they'll take on Watford at Turf Moor. So we're all set to go then here. Still waiting. Players are still waiting patiently to come out now. It's surely near kick-off time now, surely. I'm not going to help the players here being waiting around. And in the end, the referee's happy, and they're able to come out onto the pitch to fulfill this game of football. Plenty of changes, of course, from them. We've come out to a lovely reception. Southampton, of course, getting a good applause. They are the home team this afternoon. Burnley getting a good reception as well from their travelling supporters. And it's going to be some atmosphere here at St Mary's today. Not quite full. I can see empty seats there, which is not good to see there towards the end. It's always good when a stadium is completely full. We've got a complete atmosphere, a proper atmosphere. But we have a terrific game in prospect here. Let's give you the team news, starting with Southampton. They're going to start with McCarthy in goal. Then it's Stevens, Vestergaard and Hoyt, the back three. Cedric, Romeo, Lamina and Bertrand are the four-man midfield. They're going to go three in attack here with Armstrong and Redmond either side of Austin. On the bench for the Saints, Angus Gunn, Danny Ings, Alan Easy, Ward-Prowse, Gabbiadini, Oba and Bedonek. As for the Clarets, well, Joe Hart gets the nod in goal. Back four of Lowton, Tarkowski, Mia Ward, the first choice back four. Aaron Lennon, Jack Cork, Ashley Westwood and Johan Berg Gudmundsson come in. Jeff Emmett will play again the number 10 role. And Chris Wood gets the vote up front, having recovered from an insect bite which kept him out of the midweek game against Istanbul. On the bench for the Clarets, Tom Heaton, Charlie Taylor, Sam Volks, Ashley Barnes, Ben Gibson, John Walters and Phil Bardsley. The man in charge today, Graham Scott of Oxfordshire. And what an atmosphere it's going to be here. The Clarets, who finished 7th against the Southampton team, who narrowly avoided relegation and got the points they needed. We covered them against Everton at Goodison Park towards the back end of the season, and it was really a real thriller minute in that one as well, and they were so close to victory and staying up, but they did stay up at the expense of Swansea City. Joe Hart gets his debut today in Premier League, although he did make his debut in Turkey and did very well, as you may recall. Made two comfortable but noteworthy saves in the 0-0 draw over in Turkey. Chris Wood back, as I said, back from an injury, well, from an insect bite he got a few days ago, and he's ready to go again. Danny Ings, a former Claret himself, up against his old club potentially, although his former Burnley colleague Charlie Austin does start today. Danny Ings, who really blossomed under Sean Dyche for 2 seasons, was one of the top scorers in the Championship when Burnley got promoted 4 years ago. And there is Mark Hughes. He left Stoke in a bit of a mess, but found Southampton in an even bigger mess, but yet managed to keep them up. Burnley in the dark shirts, white shorts and white stockings to get their campaign underway. Premier League campaign. Southampton need, I tell you, in red and white. Southampton attacking the goal to our left, Burnley to the right in this first half. And it's Jeff Henrik to get the game underway. The referee today, Graham Scott of Oxfordshire. And we're all set to go. Although the referee is still waiting here to get the game up and alerted his attention. Someone's just making sure that everybody's ready. And the whistle goes, and away we go then. Burnley in the dark shirts, white shorts and white stockings get us away. As a right, Southampton in red and white stripes, with an early touch there for Stevens. Out for a Burnley throw over on the far side. Should be an absolute classic. And of course, I'm sure Russ Burnham will keep you up to date with events at Anfield between Liverpool and West Ham, who have just kicked off this very moment as well. Later this afternoon, it's Manchester City against Arsenal at the Emirates, as here's Lowton now trying to get an early ball into the penalty area, plays to Lennon, knocks the ball back. Remember, if you're commenting, hashtag JB Live, and Twitter Clarets as well if you are a Burnley fan as well. Here's Stephen Ward on the far side for Burnley, and the ball knocked in there towards Wood, and Wood was there too. The ball comes back out again, and Chris Wood's in there again with a header, and this time straight at McCarthy. But Burnley starting on the front foot here, crossing from the right and left hand side, causing 1 or 2 problems in that Southampton defence. And Chris Wood, who scored against Aberdeen in the second leg at Turf Moor, his only goal this season when he scored the opening goal in that second leg at Turf Moor. A real opportunist goal. Southampton, both teams now in action. Southampton playing competitively for the first time this season. Burnley, this is their 4th competitive game. 2 legs against Aberdeen, 1 in Turkey the other night, and their first Premier League clash this afternoon. And an interesting selection there. Sean Dyche going with the strongest possible lineup. I think it's a good, strong team. Joe Hart now getting the benefit over Tom Heaton, who's amongst the substitutes. 2 minutes gone here at St Mary's, 0-0. The Clarets game live, and we'll have another 2 next week as well for you as well. The Clarets games, as Burnley win another 3 kick just in the midway half part of their first half of the field. I'm looking, it's been an absolute classic. It's going to be an absolute humdinger of a game. Russ is on. Good afternoon, JB. Good afternoon, Russ. I'm sure you'll keep me informed of events at Anfield. As I said, Liverpool were playing West Ham, and as I said, Arsenal playing the champions at the Emirates this afternoon. Later on with a 4 o'clock kickoff at the Emirates Stadium, and we'll keep that going. JB Live, Saints 1, Burnley 2, my prediction today. I'm not making any predictions this week because I've been busy with other things, and of course we've had a Friday night match to cover, which usually I save for Facebook. Usually Fridays I usually save for Facebook Live. I usually make my weekly predictions. Next week we can do just that. So Friday tea time will be the time when I'll be bobbing on Facebook and taking an all-comer each week. My Facebook friends. That's the new format for the JB predictions this year. 3.5 minutes gone, 0-0. Southampton have a throw, almost over the edge of their own penalty area on the near side. And I think this is going to be a tight game. Going to be a really good game of cat and mouse here. Two coy managers. Mark Hughes has been around a long time. Sean Dyche now beginning to climb the greasy pole of what it's like now to be a top manager, having led his trade at Watford. Was very unfortunate to be fired there from Vicarage Road by the Pozzos, but Burnley gave him an olive branch, and my God, as he took advantage of that olive branch. Look at the way they are now. Wall with a crossing from the left hand side, deflected, and it will be a corner to Burnley. Now can Burnley get involved here with an early goal? Be in front here with an early goal. They haven't had a Premier League penalty all season last season. The only penalties they've had in the last 12 months was one against Leeds in the Cup, and of course the other week against Aberdeen, which Ashley Barnes scored. And Chris Wood, for example, put the Leeds penalty away as the shot from 25 yards out, from 20-30 yards out from Lawton, when his right foot goes into Rose End and behind for a goal kick. 5 minutes gone, goalless here at St Mary's. Our final Premier League commentary of the weekend, and I've done all 4 of them. My goodness me, I think I've deserved a couple of days off after this. Back to reality tomorrow. I'm in Rochdale to do training on a new day job I've got. Anyway, a goal up about that. It's McCarthy with a goal kick for Southampton. 0-0 is the score here as we approach 5.5 minutes. That's out of play for throwing, about 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Wilson to take the throw, about 5 yards from halfway, but still inside the Burnley half on the Burnley right hand side. The ball back to Lowton once again. Now Ben Mead gets the ball. Ball zipping around okay on this lovely looking surface here at St Mary's. Ground staff have done a tremendous job over the summer getting it in very, very good condition. And the pitch will zip and weave a bit, as you would expect. Just over 6 minutes gone. 0-0. Oh, Westwood was fouled there. Free kick. Lamina with the challenge. Referee Scott from Oxfordshire straight on the case straight away. Any goals that go in at Anfield, Russ and I will keep you informed of what's happened there, and we'll obviously relay what Russ says on the comments there. Don't forget #JB Live, and if you're a Burnley fan, #Twitter Clarets. Here's Goodmanson with a 3 kick now for the Clarets, who's going to be left footing towards the danger zone. Wood was lurking again. It comes to Lennon on the edge of the area. Then Westwood tears it back. No offside, and a goal for Burnley. No, it is offside. Jack Cork's goal doesn't stand. Flag up for offside. I thought for a moment the flag had stayed down. Burnley's joy was short-lived. Now then, was Cork on? Oh, he's on! Oh, that's controversial. I think he's onside there, Jack Cork. And that is a controversial decision. Looked onside to me, Jack Cork. That should be a goal for Burnley. Linesman's got that one wrong. Looked a very, very unfortunate decision there for the Clarets. They should be in front. As Gummerson chases after the second ball, deep inside Southampton territory. Again, a good tackle there. No, well, he's given a handball there. Well, that's harsh. Against Cork. Well, it's been done on 2 fronts there. Well, he's looked global for me. I have to say, Kevin is on. I will respond to your message on my commentators channel as well, Kevin. Don't worry, I will respond. It's just been a very hectic last 72 hours for me. Here's Jack Cork in the centre of the field, over to the far side. Burnley certainly on top here. Southampton really haven't had a go at testing the keeper. Burnley should be in front on merit. Here's the cross from Lawton, a deep one this time, and it's bouncing around in there. Wood had a bite and couldn't dig the ball out, and then the referee got in the way of Westwood there. That was stupidity. Graham Scott, the referee, just in the way of it again. Oh my goodness me. Well, I'd like to see a center replay of the goal that should have been allowed there. Ridiculous from the referees. I'm not been impressed with some of the refereeing in Burnley's European games that I've seen so far, and I've seen all 3 of the games in Europe, 2 from commentaries and 1 of course at the ground, the second leg against Aberdeen, which you can see a vlog of, as Wood can't keep that in play and out for a throw. I would like to see a replay. I'm certain that Cork is onside as that ball was played. I can only think he's giving it to Henrik, but then Henrik is not interfering with play. This is where the offside really becomes a particular grey area, I suppose. But that should be a goal for Burnley. There's no doubt about it. It's a good finish as well by Cork as well, which is a shame really, because I think, well, I just don't understand why the referees, assistants, I don't know, they're supposed to know these rules, they're supposed to interpret the rules, they're supposed to have good eyesight, and at the moment I'm afraid they've let Burnley down. Burnley have been the better team, but absolutely sure. Here's Henrik now. Wins another throw. Burnley right on the front foot with 10 minutes of the first half gone. They should be in front but for a linesman's flag, which was wrongly ruled out. A goal there for Jack Cork. Be interesting to get the social media angle at half time, and we can talk about that a bit more. It's, Tarkowski finds Lawton. Lawton again. Burnley looks so comfortable in possession, it's untrue. Up towards Wood, that's Lennon went in under the loose ball. Lennon shoots and McCarthy spread himself like an eagle. Got a leg on it and turned it out. It's a good save from McCarthy. Lennon should have scored there. This is Lennon again. Burnley now need to make something pay. Goodmanson goes down. That's got to be a free kick. Got to be a free kick. Southampton claim the decision was unfair, but was it? There's no doubt about it, was onside this time. Henrik battling well, and well, Lennon should score there for me. You've got to give goalkeeper McCarthy a bit of credit there. It's kept Southampton in it here. Goodmanson, Henrik and Westburn, the 3 men committed. The free kick's about 22 yards out, just to the left of centre, just slightly left of centre there. I'm just looking there. 11.5 minutes at St Mary's, and Burnley here have been a much better side to play with a much more higher intensity. Maybe the changes have kept them fresh. There's been a lot of talk whether they could cope with the demands of European football and the Premier League, and so far it's proven to be undoubted. As we see Goodmanson, won't be Goodmanson here. Henrik as well is around it. And Graham Scott has been rather nitpicky about this. Just let them get on with it. So Goodmanson or Henrik. Looks like Goodmanson over the wall. Oh, and just on the roof of the net. It was a good effort with his left foot. He's certainly got the skills to do it, Johan Berg Goodmanson. And that would have been going in, I think. Just couldn't dip enough at the last second. Would have been question marks there if McCarthy had got there, but it was a great free kick. Once again, Southampton survive. This was the chance again for Lennon. Took it first time, in fairness to him. So we can't really give him... Can't really give him criticism for that. But Burnley should be in the lead. As Burton takes the throw, Burton gets it back again, gives it away to Chris Wood. Lennon bursting down on the right hand side. They can't live with Lennon at the moment. That's a good tackle though by Hoyt, and it's a throw here. 13 minutes gone. Burnley well in charge here, but with no breakthrough to show for their undoubted effort so far. Remember they won the corresponding fixture here 1-0 last year. Sam Vokes with the goal in that game. And he's on the bench again. Should Burnley need to terrorise him. Free kick to Southampton. Foul there on Charlie Austin. Gives Southampton a little bit of respite actually. Now that little flurry there. Former Burnley striker has scored in his QPR days against Burnley, which is a bit of a worry. But so too is Sam Vokes. Scored against Southampton quite a lot. Look at the possession that Burnley have had, and you wouldn't think that. It's usually the other way around. They've had 72% possession, Burnley, compared to 28%. Cork has been penalised. 3 kicks to Southampton. 14 minutes gone in the first half. And a yellow card there. That's a surprise. And Jack Cork is absolutely fuming at that. Well, it's Lima here. He's pulling his shirt, but Lima makes a bit of a meal of it. It's not a yellow card offence. I'm sorry. I think Graham Scott's overreacted somewhat there. Very, very poor decision. And you feel for Cork because he's been frustrated by a poor decision by the linesman, and a Nat free kick no more. And the referee there just wasn't on the same wavelength as everyone else. Everyone knew it was just a free kick, except the referee wanted to take it that little bit too far and book Cork with something or nothing. There's 1 or 2 challenges from the Turkish players on Thursday that was much worse than that, and 3 yellow cards in a row in the space of 2 days that Burnley have been on decisively the wrong end of, but no fault of their own. Kevin reckons it was a dive. It was a free kick because he's pulling the shirt, but it's not conclusive enough for a yellow card for me. Graham Scott has got to get his wits about him, otherwise he'll be like the Slovakian referee, like the referee from Serbia. He was poor. He was very poor in the extreme. So 0-0. Lima has the ball, touches it back. Now Hoyt has it. Hoyt now will try it. 25 yards out, shoots over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. Claret Clare on. When you're watching again, we have got the game. I'm actually watching it on a monitor. It's sort of an off-tube operation, but it's important. I would love to show actual moving footage of the game. Unfortunately, I can't due to the Premier League, but so it has to be audio commentary, I'm afraid. Liverpool 0, West Ham 0 is the scoreline at Anfield, and any goals that go in that game, we'll let you know in due course as Ben Mee gets the ball back, and it's going to be a kick away by Joe Hart, who's not had anything to do. That's probably his first touch in the 16 and a bit minutes we've been playing. Remember, you'll be able, if you haven't seen the game, you'll be able to see it on Match of the Day later on tonight on BBC One. But here on the JB Claret YouTube channel, the Clarets Match Live, and it's Redmond bombing down the right hand side, and the header is over the top and behind for a corner, and it's going to be a corner here as Joe Hart just palmed it over. The first real opportunity for Southampton to lay siege to the goal. Mina is forward from the back. Joe Hart now some serious work to do. He looks back. He looks to his old self. We saw him in the game at in Istanbul the other night. He looked back to his cheeky chappy best, as we all know him. As the corner comes in from Armstrong, long one there, a bit of pushing and shoving going on, but never going to be a penalty. No one for Sundays. In any case, Southampton players weren't appealing too much. Good defending there this time by Stephen Ward. Throw to Southampton, level with the edge of the area. Vestergaard stays forward here, and Clarett Clare straight away 1-0 Liverpool, and Liverpool off to a flying start against the West Ham side, who actually have strengthened significantly in the window. And actually, I want to ask Clarett Clare a question actually, and I hope she can. I'd like to get her views on the transfer policy. What do you think of the players that we've brought in, Clarett Clare? And do you think And do you think that we should have strengthened a bit more in the window than the 3 that we've got? Let me know in the comment section. And as well, Claret Claire, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And as you're new to the channel, as we just see the throw come in and Burnley hook it out. As you're new to the channel, every comment now, hashtag JB Live or Twitter Clarets if it's about Burnley. And of course, for the man in the match, it's JB MRTM. And here come Burnley again. And Court leading the charge. Goodmanson's free in the area. Goodmanson has to take it down. Goodmanson shoots with his left foot, deflected away. Still Burnley have it. And then the shot back in is wide and behind for a goal kick. Good break there. More Salah with the goal. So he's back to his sparkling best there as Burnley look to go forward. And it was an opportunity really that was missing. So as I was saying, Claire, if you are listening, my love, what do you think of Burnley and how well have they done in the transfer window? As a fellow Claret, I would like to know. Goal kick to be taken here by McCarthy. McCarthy with a kick forward. No. 0-0 is the score. How Burnley in order at least a goal up is one of life's little mysteries at the moment. As Bertrand now comes forward, finds Lamina on the left hand side, chips it in there towards Charlie Austin, or the ball nodded back towards Charlie Austin, and in fact there was a bit of pushing and shoving going on by Armstrong as he was trying to nut the ball into the path of Charlie Austin. He was backing him up behind him on the edge of the area and offside given, and that was in fact the correct decision. 20 minutes gone, or 20 and a half minutes gone at St Mary's. Burnley 0, Southampton 0. Claire's been on, and yeah, definitely should have needed another central midfielder and a winger, but I'm happy with the players we got in. Hart will come good at Burnley. Yeah, well, a lot of people, including Adrian Durham of TalkSport. I don't know if you listen to his show a lot, Claire, but he's actually betted on Burnley going down sensationally, because one of the reasons why we've brought in Joe Hart. I don't understand his logic. Joe Hart, despite all his problems in the last couple of years, is a very, very good goalkeeper. Let's not make any mistake about it. He's had a barren couple of years since the disaster against Iceland in the Euros. We all accept that, but he's in the best club possible now. And you forget, and people seem to forget, Billy Mercer, the goalkeeping coach at Turf Moor, has got a brilliant track record with Burnley keepers. Tom Heaton was an auto-ran, was relegated with his previous club, came in. Billy Mercer improved his game at least a good 200%. Same with Nick Pope, who had a magnificent season last year, got himself into the World Cup squad. And here's Joe Hart. I think he's in the best goalkeeper. I think he's with the best goalkeeping coach, arguably, and I don't like saying it with rose-tinted spectacles, in the country. So 1-0 to Liverpool, and a quick mention for Leeds United in just a second as Ward streams forward, keeps the ball in towards Henrik. Henrik knocks the ball back. Burnley keeping possession really well, and then the shot coming in, deflected and wide. It will be a corner to Burnley. It was Westwood with his right foot with the shot this time. And Burnley really on the front foot, back on the front foot once again. Credit to I'll praise Ross's Leeds United team in a minute, because they won very handsomely at Frank Lampard's derby. Like a close game in that one, as the ball comes in. Tarkowski was there, but he couldn't reach it. Westwood to win the next ball, then the ball back in field. And Kevin reckons Burnley will not go down. If you haven't seen my predictions video where the teams are going to finish at the end of the Premier League table, I've waited until the transfer window is closed to make my judgments on that, and I can't think where Southampton are. I think they're going to be about yeah, thank you, Claret Claire. It's nice to have some female on. We'd like to have some more females on board, so yeah, nice to have you on board. And are you from Burnley? And that's the other thing. You know, if you're a local, we could certainly collaborate on the channel, and I'd love to have you on board as regards the channel, because we're always looking for new experts and new voices on the channel, and I'd be happy to have you on board as regards that, if you're not camera shy, because I'm always looking for new talent, because we keep the channel going. Right, back to the game, and it's number 17 here, Armstrong, out to the far side. Cross comes in, a little deflection there. Austin going with it alongside Tarkowski and me. The ball breaks it over to Southampton across the face of the 6-yard line. There was nobody in red and white coming in. Bertrand keeps it in now on the near side, the left-hand side of Southampton. 0-0. Good first half this, and Burnley have been the dominant force, but Southampton coming in. And yes, Padiham. Well, I know Padiham very, very well. Here's Redmond, gets the ball back into the penalty area, and they appeal handball there, the Southampton fans, but nothing doing from the referee. And the ball out for a throw. Yeah, I know Paddy very well, Claire. Yeah, so if you want to meet up sometime and want to collaborate with me, and I'd be absolutely delighted. We'd like to have a female. It'd be lovely to have a little female, a nice female voice to add balance to the channel as well, and it would help out with the females as well, into football in a very big way. So yeah, we'd be lovely to have you on board, and we'll also add you as a moderator as well when I get 5 minutes, and I will add you as well. I think I've added you, I don't know, but thank you for the channel, and if you do want to talk to me about getting involved with the channel, and we're always happy to have new voices. It helps the channel grow if we have more than the one voice. Anyway, here's Redmond now on the near side. Good challenge there. Good challenge by Tarkowski. Tarkowski never gives anything away. Him and Ben-Mee are so colossus. Such a colossus at the back. It's just unbelievable. Ben-Mee to win the next header. A high ball in there. Now Cork is... I feel a bit of sympathy for him. Had a goal questionably chalked off for offside, and then was harshly booked for pulling back Lamina, who made a bit of a meal of it. Kevin reckoned it was a dive. It certainly looked a little bit dodgy, although his shirt was being pulled, and it was the correct decision to give a free kick. When his attempted ball over the top from the right towards Wood was cut out. Tarkowski in there again. Now Ben-Mee. And Ben-Mee's ball, a little strong there perhaps for Ward, but Ward worked a miracle to keep that in on the far side. Now this ball in the Southampton half with Westwood. Westwood going forward, goes down, referee says free kick. Lamina, well, how is he not in the book for persistent arguing? He's beyond me. I don't understand some of these foreigners. The attitude of some of the foreign players, especially Paul Pogba in the last year when playing for Manchester United, has been disgraceful. You looked at Mourinho's persona in the game we covered at Old Trafford the other night, and you just wonder, what is it with him? Anyway, here's we're back with the game as Lennon's crossed on the right, misses everybody, and Gudmundsson would have had to have worked an absolute even bigger miracle to have kept that in. Too much weapon, too much venom on the cross, and out for a throw into Southampton. I'm just seeing Danny Ings there warming up on the far side. It would be a real body blow if him or Charlie Austin went to score against the Clarets this afternoon. But Southampton have their own dreaded threat against them. Sam Vokes scored the winner in the corresponding fixture last season when Burnley won 1-0. Now you had a real good away record as well, the Clarets. 12 months before, they couldn't muster a win on the Troubles. I think they, in their first season, I think they only won once and stayed up. It was against Crystal Palace. And then last year, a year ago to the day, Chelsea were humbled 3-2 at Stamford Bridge. An amazing topsy-turvy game I'll never forget, which only Claret will never forget. And we were all in dreamland that day, and little did we know at the time it would end up being the catalyst to finishing 7th and a European tour. 28 minutes gone here at St Mary's, 0-0. Burnley have had the ball in the net, but that was a questionable offside decision when the flag went up when Cork looked level. Claire back on, and she says, will you be doing any more FIFA videos when FIFA 19 comes out? I certainly will, Claire. I'm waiting until FIFA 19 comes out now, because not many people are watching the FIFA 18 stuff at the moment, but I will I will be going with the FIFA 19 career mode, and if you want me to do that, I'll be delighted to do that. I just lost interest with FIFA 18 because no one was watching it, and it was just not worth me editing FIFA 18 because a lot of people have gone off the idea of it now. But FIFA 19, when it comes out, I will start doing a couple of seasons of career mode, see how that goes, and we'll see after 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Southampton on the ball there, and remember, you'll have the FIFA 19 videos, you'll have Clarets commentaries, all sorts of audio commentaries this season. I hope also, Claire, you enjoyed our World Cup coverage as well, and you know, because we were busy with doing the World Cup as well, so I hope you enjoyed all the commentaries from that one. It's nice to have a female presence on the channel, and we'd love to have you on board as Burnley go in search of a goal or two themselves. Still 0-0 as we come up towards 29.5 minutes gone. Free kick in fact to Southampton. You play a lot of Ultimate Team. Oh, right, that's interesting. Once I'm back on my feet again financially, Claire, I'll join you for a bit of the old Ultimate Team. That would be interesting. Play against each other, see how we stack up against each other. Meanwhile, Charlie Austin having a chat there with the referee. I don't think it is Charlie Austin, sorry. Mark Hughes kicking the ball back, and oh dear me, that is ridiculous. It wasn't Charlie Austin. He just absolutely, whilst I was looking at the comments, he upended Goodmanson off the ball. Now that should be a yellow card when he's going to give something as trivial as a shirt tug to book Jack Cork. I think that's a little bit unfair. Free kick, half an hour gone. Southampton 0, Burnley 0 in the Premier League 2018. Remember, another Clarets match live, a Clarets game live. I've got to get into the habit of calling it now game because we've changed the titles for the season of the programmes. The Clarets game live will be back on Thursday night with full match commentary of Burnley's second leg against Istanbul. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the second name yet until the actual game, but you know what I'm talking about anyway. No, winners of that game would actually play Olympiacos. It's looking increasingly likely because they're 4 up from the first leg in their particular qualifying round, with the second leg to play on Thursday. So it looks like if we get past the Turkish side, we'll be playing a well-known name. Now, they've played in the Champions League for like 10 years running, not too long ago, so plenty of experience in terms of European competition for the Olympiacos should we get through. Do you play PS4 or Xbox? I'm a PS4 man. As we come forward again with Wood, just break off for a second. Henrik has it on the left hand side. Burnley here looking to try and find a work on Orico and get in front, which they have deserved. They've got a throw in. This is the first time I've listened to your covers. Well, it's nice to have you on board. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Claire. I won't call you Claire. I'll call you Claire. I think it's nice. And by the way, your name's lovely. Is this the first time? Yeah, fantastic that you're listening to the coverage as well. I'm getting all blushed up now. Here's Lawton now, forward to Wood. Wood trying to turn back. The ball breaks to Tarkowski. Tarkowski just midway inside, almost inside the Southampton half. And Cork with a man on, pirouettes and turns and finds Westwood. Westwood now to the right. And here's Lawton. Lawton in field, back to Lennon. Lawton again into Westwood. Westwood now has got a good outlet on the far side with Stephen Ward. Now Goodmanson takes it and plays a 1-2 with Ward. And again Westwood again takes possession. Again midway inside the Southampton half, but it goes back towards almost our play, where Tarkowski now goes forward, nearly unchallenged, into field towards Henrik. Henrik to Lennon. Lennon out to Lawton. Lawton looking to get a bit of space maybe for a potential cross. It's delivered in by Westwood. Low, and it was snuffed out by the Southampton players. And here goes Armstrong. Good tackle there by Ben Mee. Nothing wrong with that at all. Absolutely took it And that was fantastic play as the ball comes in there towards the penalty area of Southampton. Burnley really are on top form here at the moment. Timmy's on, says Burnley will probably lose because everyone's betting on Burnley to win. I don't think they're worried about who's betting on who to win. But Soren Deitch in the last 4 or 5 years has got this siege mentality as the cross comes in towards the penalty area. Southampton, I think, wanted a free kick or something, or certainly their supporters did. And the whistle's gone for something or other. Bertrand is furious about something. Let's have a look at it again. He's running forward here. It's a good run. No way. I think it would have been rather harsh to have given a penalty against Lawson if it was for pushing. Because to be fair to Bertrand, he stayed on his feet, and here he is now on the ball, the captain of Southampton. Back towards Lamina. Lamina tries to curl it. It's way over the top. And thankfully not troubling Joe Hart at all. And over the top of the crossbar. For a goal kick to Burnley. 0-0 here. Opening game of the Premier League. Liverpool 1-0 up. Mo Salah the scorer. And the game at Anfield, there's been no further scoring, I believe, in that one at Anfield. But as soon as there's goals in that one, we will endeavour to let you know. But we've enjoyed bringing this to you. Final game of the weekend. We covered Manchester United on Friday, beating plucky Leicester 2-1 when Leicester were far the better team. United weren't at the sparkling best. And of course, yesterday I had to do a double bubble. Chris Whiteman, my fellow Clarets supporter and also fellow commentator, was due to do the game, but he had there was other things that got in the way, so he had to let that one go, and I ended up doing not just the Newcastle game, Tottenham game, I did the Wolves game, which is an absolute crackerjack. This has not been a bad game either. Burnley have actually got a free kick here in a very promising position against Westergaard. 10 to go to half time, 10 minutes that is. Burnley have been better than Southampton in every single department, but yet don't lead in the game. And I do think the referee and the assistant have had one or two key decisions that they've made go against Burnley a bit. But Burnley, if they can get their noses in front, they are a very difficult side to break down. Free kick on the left hand side, and it's delivered in right footed towards the area. McCarthy with a fist away, but not very far. Play on, said the referee. There was no free kick there. McCarthy was not fouled. That was a foul there, surely, on Goodmanson. And here goes Redmond. He looked as if he fouled his man there. I have to say the referee was very, very slow to pick that one out. And here's the shot coming in. Bertrand's shot was blocked down, and if it leads to a Southampton goal, I think there's got to be serious questions asked to the referee there. The ball in and netted away by Tarkowski. Me to win the next ball. Ward will come away with it now for Burnley. It did look a foul on Goodmanson in the build-up to that last attack. Sean Dyche is furious over on the touchline. Not sure if he's furious with the referee or with his own players. When Dummy finds Romeo. Now Hoyt. Romeo against midway inside the Burnley half. Plays it out towards the right, where Armstrong is waiting. Now Lamina has it. Now the ball going towards the far side this time. And this time Redmond with a chance to run at the defenders. No score. Burnley no, Southampton no at St Mary's. And Southampton have got away here. Ball towards the penalty area. Walton did well, got it away. Southampton now just starting to come into it a little bit here. A little bit concerning here for the Clarets. Wood now trying to hold play up and bring players like Walton into it a little bit more now. Now Southampton have a little bit more belief in themselves here. Lamina finds Romeo, who finds Hoyt on the left hand side. Back in field again to Romeo, plays the ball in. Redmond takes possession. 25, 35 yards, 35, 40, 30 yards, 30, 35 yards from goal. Southampton 0, Burnley 0 here on the south coast. Been a A good game of. It's been a good battle. Burnley have had the better of it, but here comes Southampton now looking to come into it a little bit. Got out by Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson trying to run away. Surely that was a foul there, and Gudmundsson, the referee, allowing it to go on. And here's Armstrong down the left-hand side. Armstrong now towards the byline. Lowton does enough. Burnley in 6s and 7s, but then in the end, Lowton just puts his foot through it. But it did look as if there was a foul there on Gudmundsson in the first place. Referee didn't spot it. And here comes Gudmundsson now, who's switched to the right-hand side. Looks like Lennon's gone to the left and Gudmundsson's gone to the right. 39 minutes gone. Coming towards half-time here at St Mary's. I nearly said the Dell. I'm sure you older listeners will remember the Dell back in the day when it was a fearsome little ground with an atmosphere. And no visiting team like going there. Ask Manchester United. They were beaten 6-3 one Saturday afternoon. And they changed their strip at half-time. And they never wore grey again. Well, Burnley are in black, and at the moment the kit doesn't seem to be affecting them too much here. Ball over, and it's Wood on the break here, inside the penalty area. Has to go outside, just to the right. Been forced right to the right, but needs support. And of course, Keegan and Mick obviously referring to Mick Shannon, Southampton legend, a member of that 1976 FA Cup winning team. And they were a second division team when they beat Manchester United at Wembley. Bobby Stokes, who's no longer with us, with the goal there. Here's Romeo now for the class of 2018. The shot deflected, and it could have gone anywhere, but instead it goes off the defender for a corner. And Southampton now have a chance here from a corner kick. As the ball came in, it takes a deflection here of Tarkowski and goes well wide of the goal. On another day, that could have been wrong footing Hart and going in the net. But it's still 0-0, but Burnley with some defending to do here. And if one goes in here for Southampton, this is their second corner. Burnley have also had two corners, that is. And that doesn't seem to be on the quadrant there from Armstrong, but the referee is allowing it. Armstrong with the corner into the penalty area, and the heads all go up, and it's over the top in the end. My number 4 Vestergaard, and then behind for a goal kick. So Burnley survived that little passage of play from the Saints. It was a free header as well, but it wasn't troubling the goals, or wasn't troubling the Burnley goal, or troubling the scorers, to quote an old phrase in cricket. 3.5 minutes to go to half time. 0-0. Burnley should be in the lead. And it's his 20th Premier League goal, I think, in his Liverpool career, or in Premier League terms. But it's certainly his first of the season, and he's a man on track. He scored well over 30 goals last season in all competitions. It's just a shame his season ended so tragically in the European Cup final, really, with that injury. And I still maintain Ramos meant to pull him around like a rag doll in that final. Right, so corner then to Burnley, and we come towards the death of the first half here at St Mary's. Corner on the left hand side. Gudmundsson strolling over to the far quadrant to take it. Can Burnley sneak a goal? They've been better value. They can get a lead. They've been better value for it than Southampton have. You want to know who the home side was and who the away side was, the way this first half has gone. Here comes the corner. Gudmundsson in there, and it's a poor corner from Gudmundsson. It goes right onto the roof of the net, and it was skewed very, very badly with his left foot. And Sean Dyche just stands, hands on hips, now starts shouting more orders. Hard to make yourself heard, really. And Kevin says that Hart looks relaxed and the defence looks comfortable. I would actually concur with that, Kevin. I've no absolute doubts here. I mean, a lot of people were questioning our Burnley's manager's sanity when he signed him, but I knew he was getting a good player. This is Gudmundsson out on the left hand side, crossing towards Lennon. It was just behind Wood, in fact. Here's Westwood to win the next ball, 25 yards from goal. Here's a chance here for Burnley. Henrik's shot was charged. Here's Ward now, on the ball. Wood now to take on the defenders, and that's a good cross, and it was whipped in with a lot of venom. Headed out as far as Lowton, and Burnley ending the first half as if when they started, finishing the first half as they started it. Here's the crossing from Lowton, headed away again by Southampton on the back foot a little bit, but now they have possession with Mayfair and Redmond. And the ball over the halfway line, looking towards Austin. Austin takes it down on his chest. Lamina is the furthest man forward, and here's Armstrong now on the left-hand side. Burnley now with some defending to do. Armstrong towards the back post, and in the end, Austin could not come in there to finish it off. Well, team doesn't seem to rate Burnley's chances today. I don't know what team he supports, but let me know what team he supports. And he's entitled to his opinion, and which we all respect. And he's talking about the game, which is fantastic. Don't forget, Tim, and all the others, Kevin, don't forget to hashtag JB Live if you can, please. And that goes for you too, Crazy Pizza. He reckons it'll end up with Southampton winning. Burnley don't seem to be able to score. Well, they did put the ball in the back of the net, Tim, in case you missed it, in case you missed the commentary of that. And the flag was, they were flagged for offside, and it looked very dubious to me because Jack Cork was very, very level there, and it should have been a goal. He's an Everton fan. I'd like to get your opinions on Richarlison. I thought he had a good game yesterday. I covered the match between Everton and Wolves at Molineux. How do you think Richarlison will do in a blue shirt? Let me know, please, Tim, if you wouldn't mind. And I think that's, we like to get views from other teams and how their teams are going to perform this season. I've got you down, Tim, actually. They finished 7th this season. And I think, if you have a good run, you could finish in the top 6. It depends on other teams, of course. Free kick, though, to Burnley. We're playing 1 at a minute at the end of the first half. Well, Tim agrees. Well, I thought he played well yesterday. Still, I think, I would like to get your views on the sending off in the second half as well. Goodmanson then with the free kick to Burnley. Right at the end of the half. Flicked on. Chance here at the back post. Blacked in there towards the end. And a save at the near post by McCarthy, and behind for a corner. Burnley so close there. Ben Mee hooking the ball back with an overhead kick. Good free kick. There it was, there the ball back and then towards the back stick. I can't tell who got the touch there. I think it might have been Chris Wood at the back stick. We played the 1 minute, but there will be time for this corner. Goodmanson to take it. Far side, can Burnley score right on the death of the first half? Tarkowski's header! And Wood! And saved! And that will just... Well, Southampton will be very fortunate to get a half-time without a goal against their name. Oh, without a blemish on their clean sheet, which is amazingly still intact, thanks to a very questionable linesman's decision. Jack Cork early on had the ball in the net, but was ruled off for a very, very questionable offside decision. But Burnley have not been troubled too much in defence. Joe Hart, what he's had to do, he's done it superbly. Gives a nice little rave to the Burnley fans who have made the journey. They have been very comfortable, the Clarets. And they just haven't had the look in front of the goal yet. But the second half will come soon enough. And before we go off for the half-time cuppa, which I'm going to take, so don't go away. We'll be gone for 10 minutes and then we'll be back. Just to give you a goal flash before the break, before we take the break, and it is half-time. Marnie has just scored practically the last touch of the first half at Anfield. Liverpool 2, West Ham 0, and that is now confirmed as a half-time score. So that's the story here at St Mary's. That's the story at Anfield. Over here at St Mary's, it's 0-0, and we'll be back in 10 minutes for the second half of Southampton against Burnley. Don't go away. Welcome back to St Mary's. Burnley 0, Southampton 0. The two teams have just come out on the pitch, as we say. Hope you all enjoyed your half-time cuppa or beer or whatever substance you were drinking. I hope you very much enjoyed it this wonderful Sunday afternoon. It's coming up towards 2:30 here in the United Kingdom. I'm sure, I think it'll be morning over in New Zealand, I would have thought, or late evening in New Zealand. I'm sure Kevin will keep me abreast of the time over there in New Zealand, over in Australasia. One or two comments before we start the second half. I'll remind you of the two teams and the subs in a minute. Hope Claire isn't being drag. Oh, Kevin. These are the comments of the season from our listeners. By the way, speaking of Claire, we've now made you a moderator, so you are now part of the JB Claret YouTube channel experience as a moderator, but we'd like to have you as a contributor. So if you would like to join me on some of the videos, I'd be delighted to have you on board. Right, 0-0 here. No substitutes that I can see for the start of the second half. It's as you were, but I will repeat the two teams as the second half gets underway. Southampton, to get us underway, they're going to start the second half attacking the goal to our right. Burnley towards the left-hand side, where a good couple of thousand of their supporters are congregated behind as we get underway. So away we go, Southampton 0, Burnley 0. Just to remind you of the two teams in just a second, as Wood chases that ball on and the ball back to McCarthy. McCarthy with a kick that's quite the low one, but Lemina managed to win that ball, and then the ball hooked forward there towards Armstrong. Good tackle there by Tarkowski. Throw into Southampton about 15 yards inside the Burnley half on the left hand side. Just looking at one or two Southampton bench members there. Dan Ings is amongst the substitutes there. Mark Hughes, as Romeo takes possession, finds Lemina plays it out. It's out for a throw-in. So let's just recap the two teams for you in case you weren't with us at the start. McCarthy in goals, then it's Cedric, Stevens, Westergaard and Hoyt. Stevens, Westergaard and Hoyt are playing as three centre-backs, so Cedric will be in the midfield alongside Bertrand, Romeo, Lemina and Armstrong and Redmond, and Charlie Austin up front as Westergaard knocks it out for Burnley for a level of the area. On the bench for Southampton, Ings, Alusi, Ward-Prowse, Gabbiadini, Højbjerg, Gunn and Benanek. We'll give you the Burnley rundown in a second or two, because Burnley have a throw almost over the actual area of Southampton on the left hand side, and it's Ward near side to take the throw for the Clarets in dark shirts, white shorts and white socks. Nice little fetching away kick this season. Here's Westwood to find Goodmanson touching the ball back. Mealy's there too. Read the ball out towards Tarkowski. Now it's back in his own half. Well, as soon as we get a breaking play, we'll remind you of the Burnley 11 as well. This is Jack Cork on the far side. Cork turns, pirouettes fantastically well, gets the ball back. Tarkowski now again reads the play terrifically well. Here's Ben Mee now plodding forward, plays a low ball towards Ward, who evades the first man, looking towards to get past the second man. What did I think of the Spurs away kit? Well, quite fetching, although for the wrong reasons. Who wears teal? It's a bit of a mysterious colour there, but some of the kit makers, when they're doing away shirts, they just don't think to do traditional colours. They just think, oh, we'll put a nice hefty little unfamiliar colour in there. They were wearing teal, and I couldn't make them out too much. Here's the ball towards the penalty area, hooked away once more. Westwood to win the next ball, finds Lennon, and then Lennon with the ball in there, and Burnley get a throw in on the far side. So let's just run through that Burnley team once again. Hart in goal, back four, Lowton, Tarkowski, Mee and Ward, Lennon, Cork, Henrik, Westwood and Gunmarsson in the midfield. Chris Wood the lone striker. On the bench with the Clarets, Tom Heaton, Charlie Taylor, Sam Vokes, Ashley Barnes, Ben Gibson, the new £15 million man from Middlesbrough, Walters and Phil Bardsley. Referee Grant Scott of Oxfordshire is the man in charge. 0-0. Vokes and Barnes could come on at any point and It's time for the Southampton attack. No, more certainly could Danny Ings as well, as the cross comes in towards the penalty area. What he's looking, he'll break for Gudmundsson, and Gudmundsson shoots, and they claim a penalty. They get a corner. I think Gudmundsson was taken out there. I think that should be a penalty. Gudmundsson is in a lot of discomfort there. He had every right to go for that ball. There's the cross. Wood didn't get there. Gudmundsson was in there, and I think Stevens takes him out there. I think that should be a penalty. I think this should be a penalty. Burnley were protesting furiously for a penalty there. Well, I think Gudmundsson should have a penalty there. The referee's giving a corner because he feels that Stevens got the ball there, but that's a penalty for me. Which is the 4th minute of the second half. Burnley should be in the lead by now. Not defending, that's the worry. It's the inability, and Jack Cork's going to take it. Gets a good round of applause from his former supporters. Nice to see ex-players come back and actually get a nice warm round of applause instead of being booed. And the cross gives a good one. Comes out again to Henrik. Henrik into the penalty area. Burnley have got numbers back. Shot comes in, and it's straight in the arms of McCarthy. And it was Stephen Ward, the left back, with the left-footed shot. You would have expected, I think, you would have, if it was someone like Ashley Barnes, you would have said, you would have been a little bit hypercritical. But Southampton here in big trouble. Ward took it on his left foot. He's not one you would expect to score. He did score on the opening day last season when he netted one of the most remarkable goals of the season, when he just got bored on the blind side and hit it at an acute angle past Thibaut Courtois, and I think it was 2-0. I think it made it 2-0 at the time. Folks got a couple in that game as well. Remember, Chelsea were down to 9 men, if you remember, and Burnley just hung on to win 3-2. And I compared it on Facebook as a footballing equivalent of pulling a MILF and taking it and being invited back to her house for entertainment. That's how I described it. Nicholas, he says, hi from Spain. How do you see Burnley? Well, I think we can finish 10. But here's Wood now inside the penalty area. Wood can't just get it out from under his feet. I think it's probably time to get folks or Barnes on. I think Wood has had a few opportunities there, and he just hasn't had it all his own way. Burnley appeal for a free kick and get one on halfway on the far side. Tim says Southampton will be lucky to walk away with a point, I would imagine. Well, I think if you'd have offered any self-respectful Burnley fan a point at the start, I think they would have took it. But having said all that, our inability at the moment to stick the ball in the net is proving our downfall at the moment. Defending is a forte of ours. It's a good skill, but at the moment I think Chris Wood is a man under real pressure. He's also recovering from an insect bite, of course, and he was fit enough to start. But Ashley Barnes is a real player that really throw his right around here. Here's Gudmundsson down the left hand side. Should have had a penalty there. In towards Henrik, and Henrik again. Why does Dyche persist in playing a number 10 role when he's a box-to-box midfielder, essentially? I found that frustrating last season. 0-0, Clarets, Claire. And you're now a moderator, by the way. You are a moderator. I've made you a moderator, but there's still no scoring. Should have had a penalty, though. Here's Stephen Ward for the Clarets. 0-0. They're in the dark strips. Still anyone's game. Burnley still on top here. Defensively looking comfortable. Just can't finish, but they do have Ashley Barnes. They do have Sam Vokes amongst the substitutes. John Walters maybe not as penetrative as he was in his Stoke days, which is why I don't put him as an option. Here's Stephen Ward, the ever reliable left back, finds Westwood, in turn finds Henrik. Now the ball switched towards the centre, and Lennon gets it from court. Walton gets it from court rather. This is Tarkowski having to go back to Joe Hart, which we've had 7 minutes, and that's practically, I think, his first touch of the ball. And Hart kicks away. He's had precious little to do, the Burnley goalkeeper. Burnley in charge of this game, but haven't been able to take the advantage. Away by Stevens. Stevens up towards halfway. Southampton, remember, survived relegation last season with a creditable draw, which should have been a win against Everton, and they got 3 crucial points at the Liberty Stadium to relegate Swansea City. As Ben Mee, man on, and Mee does well to hold off the man and play a nice ball to Goodmanson there, and there's a Southampton player gone down there, and I think he's, well, I wonder, he was under no contact whatsoever. There was no contact from Goodmanson that I could see, and Burnley might have had a good attack going there. I've been thwarted. Now I'd like to see that again. Now what happened here? Goodmanson involved. It's Armstrong. Oh, he's lost his balance. That's what's happened. He's jarred his knee there by the looks of it. How are we playing? We're playing well again. Second half, we've had chances. We should have had a penalty for a foul on Goodmanson as he went to shoot from about 3 or 4 yards out. Chris Wood is just not looked entirely on the pace today. I think Danny Ings is about to come on for Southampton. So Southampton playing the first joke, and it's the former Burnley man that's about to come on here. And he also go on to say, Claire, that we hope we don't live to regret it. So far we haven't been troubled. In fact, it's a double substitution in actual fact. So Danny Ings is going to come on, and Usi is going to come on as well. I think that's how you pronounce it. Southampton have been quite active, I have to say, in the transfer window. More active than what the Clarets were, although we brought in 3 competent players. Now Armstrong is going off the field on the near side, and I think he'll be okay. He's up on his feet. This will upset the Burnley rhythm a bit, because Burnley were on a good rhythm at that point. Armstrong will not take any further part, and it looks as if Danny Ings is going to take his place. Indeed he is, and number 9 Danny Ings comes on. Meanwhile at Anfield, Liverpool no problems in beating West Ham. Looks like an open and shut case, and if they score another one, they could be going top of the Premier League tonight. Sadio Mane with his second of the game after 53 minutes, as showing now put the men from Anfield on the way here over at Anfield. Here at St Mary's, 0-0 with Ings on the field, and also Alanusi is now on as well. Ings gets a good round of applause, and Alanusi will replace Cedric Suarez for the remainder of the game. So Alanusi on now for Southampton, and amazingly no score. It's been a real frustrating day for the Clarets in front of goal. So Burnley have now some new problems to defend against, and a few of these Burnley players will know Danny Ings. No doubt about that, because Ben Mee played with him for quite some time. Some folks will know him as well. He used to be strike partner Ashley Barnes too. Burnley have not made a change at all in this second half. Here's Danny Ings now with his first touch to see what he can do. Finds Bertrand on the far side. Bertrand now laying up the cross towards Ings, but Ben Mee winning the header very comfortably, but Lamina now winning it back for Southampton. Now it's their turn to break, and Ings gets the touch straight away. Looks as if he wants to be involved straight away, Danny Ings, and that ball's out of play and behind for a goal kick to Burnley. So thankfully nothing comes of that attack. 57 minutes gone, 0-0. But Ings looks lively. In the first few seconds he's now come onto the field, which looks quite anonymous. I agree with you, Claire. We should have tried to get Danny Ings back. Another big opportunity there, and I just wonder what the board were playing at on the day. And I'd have to have, I mean, if we don't do as, I mean, okay, if we finish 10th or 12th, it's not a bad season, but if we finish lower than that, questions have got to be laid at Mike Garlick and David Baldwin's door, really, for me. You know, I mean, Mattia Vidra looks a good signing, but I still think we should have had a centre midfielder. We should have gone for J-Rod. We tried to do things on the cheap again on the last day of the season, which was absolutely ridiculous. There's no need for that, Paul. If you want to, this is not what. If you want to, you know, we have 6 moderators on, and anything like that will not be tolerated on this channel. You will be thrown off. We will not take any nonsense. 0-0. And I have to be honest with you, Burnley should be winning this game. Clear penalty which wasn't given when Gudmundsson was clearly taken out by Stevens. 58.5 minutes gone. Not. I do agree with you there, Claire. We did spend too much time trying to get Rodriguez back. And he looked sharp yesterday and backed, scored a cracking 30-yard thunderbolt against Norwich in that game at Carrow Row when West Brom nicked it 4-3. Thank you, Russ. Thank you. We don't know idiots like that. Name calling is not allowed unless it's banterous. And we knew it was a Blackburn fan anyway. Who else would call Burnley fans dingles? Anyway, back with Redmond inside the centre circle for Burnley. We like to keep the comments clean. We are a family show. People have got to realise we are a family show. This is Lamina out to the far side. Gets the ball back once again. Now then, chance here for Southampton. They're looking sharper now, and there's the shot from Redmond from 20 yards. He wants a corner, and it's deflected, and it is a corner. And now it's Southampton's turn to test the Burnley defence. Hits Ben Mee, goes over the top. Burnley have had 14 shots, 0 goals. Liverpool have 9 shots, 3 goals. Well, that just sums up the quality, doesn't it? So the number 11 here, Alan Rusi, to take the corner for the home team. An hour gone, half an hour to go, and Alan Rusi crosses in and off the line. Off the line, header from the edge of the 6-yard area, headed off the line. I couldn't see who got the header in, but Matt Lawton certainly knew where he was. Let's see who got the header in. It's an own goal almost by Ben Mee. Austin was lurking. I do actually think it's almost an own goal here from Ben Mee. It nearly was. Great defending name. In fact, it was Westwood. I did him a bit of injustice there. Good defending there. That's the value of having both men on the post. Ben Mee there was under a lot of pressure there from Charlie Austin. He headed it back towards his own goal, and that almost cost Burnley dear. Amazingly, it's still 0-0. Ben Mee now, very lucky man indeed, in my opinion. Mee gets the ball forward, and he's found Jeff Henrik very well. Henrik now to Gudmundsson, corner given. Oh, he's given a goal kick. Well, Gudmundsson was shaping up to go for a corner. It's a goal kick. Some of the refereeing today has been very questionable. Well, that looked a corner all the way to me. Let's have a look at it. I'm looking at a replay. That's a corner. That's it, Romeo last. That's it. It's hit the Southampton player. I just don't understand the referees and assistants. They're just, well, I cannot believe that's not a corner. It might just work out for Burnley as Wood tries to pick on the loose ball. Again, McCarthy getting away with one there. Southampton winning the throw-in. How are Burnley not winning this game? Anti-Burnley sounds like this ref. Well, to me that's a corner. To me there should have been a penalty and a corner. I don't care what anyone else thinks. The bookies have pinned away from. Don't panic, Clarets. The ref's a big suspect. Well, I've seen that for myself, Kevin. But no. Southampton have come closest though in the second half. Ben Mee headed towards his own goal, headed off the line brilliantly by Ashley Westwood. And I think if Burnley were to get something out, I think Ben Mee owes Westwood a drink afterwards, because that was some clearance by the midfielder to bail Ben Mee out of trouble there. There's another Southampton player struggling, and it's Charlie Austin. He's looks like his ankle. To be fair, he's a tough cookie, Charlie. He likes to run it all off if he can. Just come back from a long-term injury as well. Here's Stephen Ward now for the Clarets. 0-0. Nice of you to say hi, but can we have your name in English rather than hieroglyphics, please? 0-0. Here back with Burnley once again. With Cork. Ricky Evans, I think he's a Southampton fan. There's a few Southampton fans now backing the Saints. We've got Austin to score. I hope not, for my sake. And Brandon Chalice, both Southampton fans, I believe. Come on, Saints. And yes, I know one or two expat Southampton fans who live up in my neck of the woods, who happen to be very good friends with, funnily enough. The ball back with McCarthy now. He must be one of the most relieved goalkeepers in the country at the moment. His clean sheet yet to have been pierced. It should have been by now, but Southampton have rolled their luck. In fairness to them, could have had a bit of luck themselves. Ings has been on for about 5 minutes and has looked lively, unfortunately for Burnley. This is Redmond who shoots. A little deflection there. And as Russ reiterates, we'll just go to the man of the match in a second, because Southampton are on the break here towards the penalty area. Lemina goes charging in there. I think it would have been Bob Hope and no hope for them to go for a penalty there. Ward is also injured. And Lemina now just needs to leave Ward alone here for a second or two. Yes, just to reiterate the man of the match awards, they will be counted, so get your nominations now. We are UK time, we're now so from 3 o'clock onwards in the UK, get your nominations in. Russ will remind you later on. Meanwhile, Stephen Ward is back on his feet, limping on a little bit, but still very much away. I'm a Burnley fan, funnily enough, but I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can, Brandon, funnily enough. But I am calling it as I'm seeing it. The ref doesn't count as man in the match. Maybe villain of the match. Here's Henry now. Henrik, he tried to, instead of shooting, he tried to play it in. Here's Goodmanson. Goodmanson's cross. Back behind everybody, and again Southampton get it clear. We're into the 65th minute, Eric. 0-0. Amazingly. This is Ward now for the Clarets. Cross deflected. I think it's about time Dyke's got some substitutions on. Get Barnes or Fox warmed up. I can't seem to see any activity at the moment on the Clarets bench. No one seems to be stripping off and ready to go. We're into the 65th minute of the game as I'm looking at it at the moment. Our team's a couple of minutes in front of me. Still, amazingly, 0-0. Burnley should be winning this football match, although Southampton will lay claim that they should be winning themselves. When Ben Mead headed back towards his own net, and actually Westwood bailed him out. And here is a chance now for Austin, deflected away. Romeo picks up the loose ball. 0-0. 3-0 to Liverpool in the game at Anfield. It's been Burnley bossing the possession, but no penetration. And Lowton getting stuck in there with Austin and Bertrand, and it's almost a throwback to the olden days. That should be a free kick to Burnley. It's not, and the ball comes in and it's over the top anyway and well wide. But that was a nice little throwback there. As Danny Ings tried to shoot, but he shot well wide in the end. Lowton and Austin battling in it, just like the olden days, what you see on the playground really. And then the ball broke to Ings, who didn't trouble the scorers at all. So we're halfway through the second half, 67 minutes gone. Graham Scott, who's not really refereed the game with too much distinction, I've got to say. Questionable goal, should have been chalked off for offside. Should Burnley have had a penalty at the start of the second half. Southampton very close to scoring themselves through what would have been an own goal from Ben Mee, although Austin, to give him his fair dues, put him under quite a lot of pressure. As Joe Hart kicks away, and Joe Hart's been pretty sound so far in what he's had to do in the game, and still no sign from the Burnley bench. In fact, we're not going to see a change at all yet. Still no sign from the Burnley bench, and it's about time Dash turned to his bench here, because the way this game is shaping up, it's there for Bolks or Barnes here to win it. Why is he not doing it? What are your thoughts on Ings? My thoughts on Ings, he's a dangerous customer, and he always has been. Even when he was at Burnley, he was a dangerous customer, and even when he's playing against us, I think he's going to be a dangerous customer. Didn't get the opportunity at Liverpool that he should have had. on the clock when he came back from that long-term injury. And I think Barnes or Volks need to come on. I do concur with Claire here, but it's Southampton's corner here. 68.5 minutes approaching now, and it would be a bitter pill rather for the Clarets to swallow if this was to come out. Lucy with a corner, right-footed into the penalty area it goes, and again the heads are up. Burnley winning the header, but it's going the opposite way with where they wanted it to go. And in the end, hooked away by Burnley, thankfully, to the sanctuary of the halfway line, where Bremen can pick the ball up and then get the ball back to McCarthy. And Burnley now just need to just push out and make it hard for Southampton to break down again. That back four again, looking solid as a rock once more for Burnley, but they can't keep relying on that back four to bear them out of trouble all the time. One ball over the top, looking towards Ings. Won again by Stephen Ward. Out comes Joe Hart. He says, I'm having this. Leave it to me. And he hooks it away, right-footed, over halfway, but out of play on halfway. Safety first from the former Manchester City goalkeeper. Rather harshly dealt with, I have to say, by Pep Guardiola, who had a torrid European Championships, it has to be said, but the comments from Pep was not helpful at all the last 2 years. But he looks a sound goalkeeper now, just Hart. The ball into the penalty area now, and Burnley again in defensive disarray. There's the shot from Lemina back in. Lemina will try and reach the second ball again, and once again a block. I think it was by Tarkowski. Ashley Barnes warming up. Why is he not on the pitch, Deitch? Why is he not on the field? Wood has looked shy again. I don't like to upset Kevin because he is a Kiwi, but Southampton are going for it now, and they might as well do. I mean, they're in their rights, and Gagliardini's on, and the Clarets now under the pressure. Why didn't Deitch make changes sooner? That has to be the question, as Southampton are looking for this opening goal. And hooked away once more. Burnley battling very strongly. Remember, next game is against Istanbul. You'll be able to hear that second leg with me on Thursday. As the Juicy Flipper, I don't know which team he supports, but at the moment it's Burnley under the caution. I think there's going to be some activity on that bench very soon. It has to be now. Surely Barnes or Volks need to come on and get some fresh legs, because the fresh legs of Southampton are now, I have to say, are making a real difference. And here goes Southampton again, and Austin Alan Usi denied this time, and the fresh legs are making a difference for Southampton. Mark Hughes has made the changes probably at the right time for them. Burnley now need to make changes, and quick, and now a chance on a save. Stevens at the back post. And a man who could have arguably given a penalty away and probably seen red earlier on in the second half nearly scored. And really it was defensive suicide there from Burnley. They were all over the place. Joe Hart at the near post, in trouble having to pull that away. And Austin is coming off. Gagliardini's going on. But I've not seen any activity as yet, significantly from Burnley. No, it's a big worry for me now. Southampton so close. They have a corner. 72 minutes gone. Burnley have to make a change sometime, because they're being overrun here, and they're gonna, about time. 72 minutes it's taken them to make a first substitution. They should have made it 10 minutes ago. Chris Ward off and Sam Volks on. I think that's a good change. It's come a bit late in the day, perhaps. It should have been at least 5 or 10 minutes sooner than it has taken place. I'm afraid Ward has not had his best match today. I'm sorry. It's not been good enough by his standards. He's had 2 great opportunities, and he hasn't been showing very well. Alan Usi with another corner, and that's a good corner in there, and a good header as well on target. And Joe Hart had to pluck that one out the air. And that was a good save of international calibre. It was Lamina's header, big the man with the blonde, beach blonde hair on top. And he almost got a good purchase on the header, but just enough for Joe Hart to get there. Folks, into the action straight away. Finds Goodmanson. Goodmanson, good run. Has to be fouled, surely, with the play on. It's his, said the referee. And now, oh, he's going to give it Southampton. Oh, really? Vestergaard is hurt. Or claiming to be hurt. He's holding his face. But it looked like a free kick to Burnley there to me. Well, we've got 74 minutes gone. There is frustration here. Just having a look at that again. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, Folks has just gone in there. He hasn't elbowed him in any way or shape or form, and he's gone down, and the referee stopped it, and he's given a free kick the other way. If that's a free kick, then that's a terrible decision from the referee. Maybe Burnley, they could do with going 2 up top and try and mix it up a little bit. So 1 up top is, at the moment in the second half, he's certainly not working with the, especially with Southampton now going for it. They've 2 strikers on the pitch, and it looks as if I think they've read my prophecies, because Ashley Barnes is about to come on. Austin has been replaced by Gabbiadini, just so you know, Ricky. 0-0 is the score. So Southampton have used all 3 of their substitutes. Ings, Alarousi and Gabbiadini are all on. But Folks is now on to replace Wood. And who's going to be being replaced here by Barnes? That has to be the question. Is he going to go 4-4-2? If it's Jeff Henrik, it will be 4-4-2. I'm surmising. Again, I'm in my prophecy element here. And Vestergaard is getting his nose patched up. Holly Killy's on, says, come on Burnley. Nice to have you on, Holly. Nice to have another female on. We're just having a break in play at the moment, as the Saints and the Clarets stop for battle. And it is Jeff Henrik. My prophecies are working here. And off comes Henrik again. He's not a number 10 by any stretch, and I think Matthias Vidra will certainly make a real difference. But this man, he'll battle and bustle, and he'll make it hard for Southampton. There's no doubt about that. I'll be honest with you, Raider Darth, I don't think there's going to be 3 goals in the last sort of minutes. I think it's going to be 1 goal that decides this match. If anything, the first goal is going to be so crucial now, as we're now 14 minutes away from the end. Debbie Wilson is on. Subscribe to the channel if you like. Red and White Army. We've had a few females on today, which is pleasing, from both Burnley and Southampton. Nice to hear from all the Saints as well. Good to have you with us. And we try not to be too biased, of course, because it is a channel that does showcase Burnley quite a bit. So, and I am a Burnley fan, but I have to say Chris Wood's performance has been unacceptable, really, from a Burnley viewpoint. We do thank you, Brandon, and we will be doing a few Southampton games when they're not playing Burnley, and I hope Southampton have a decent season this year. They're a good enough team. They're not a bad team. I think you've got a very sound manager in Mark Hughes. Don't be put off what happened at Stoke last season. It was just one of those unfortunate things. Southampton have a throw-in level with the area. They have played a lot better, the Saints, today, and they have created a lot of problems. Last quarter of an hour then. 14 apiece. Burnley have had the most on target, but Southampton have had 3. They've tested Joe Hart on a couple of occasions. They've had one headed off the line, or they'll be almost a known goal. Redmond now towards the penalty area. Redmond now into the penalty area. Redmond shoots, deflected and just wide. And now Southampton turning up the pressure, turning up the current, turning up the power current on the Burnley defence. Which defence will crack first? Redmond with a good rippling run there, and Burnley with a lot more defending to do here. The first goal, as I said, going to be all crucial here, as Alarousi gets the corner in once again, and they all went in, and in the end it's over the bar, and it was Danny Ings closed it in, the former Burnley man, who in the end has headed over the top. And they're getting closer, the Saints, there's no doubt about it. Joe Hart with pointed to say to his back 4 here. Not good defending at all there from the Clarets at all. It's very rare we We say that a lot of the time because most of the defending in general the last couple of years has been absolutely sound and red hot. Joe Hart with a kick a long way forward, 3/4 of the way up the field. Barnes heads on. The last 10 minutes is going to be so crucial. 12 minutes. No spammers. You will be taken off. There are 6 moderators on now, and Russ will get rid of you. Here's Stephen Ward for Burnley, left hand side, the ball forward. Cork in to win the next ball. Cork wins that ball, but then the ball comes away again, and here comes Danny Ings over the halfway line, and Stevens now comes forward. I know, Tim, I've put a thing in place to stop spammers from coming on, and they still find ways of doing it. It is quite annoying, but we have 6 moderators anyway, so I'm well covered from all that trouble at all. And in the crowd, Matt Letizia, Southampton legend, and you can't tell me anyone says he's not a legend is absolutely mistaken. Some of the goals he scored for Southampton were of the highest quality, and he kept them up a lot of seasons. He's a cult hero. You know, there's a lot of cult heroes for Southampton, but he's probably the biggest one yet, and the man was just a colossus for Southampton. They should have a statue put up of him, really. The amount of times he stayed loyal to the club when other clubs were knocking, and he was an absolute servant for the football club. Nice to see a one club man, and he's it was a crime he didn't get many more England caps than the one he got against Italy, really. Real crime. Jeff Henrik is one of the contenders for JB Man in the Match. What are your views on Europe? Would we focus on the league? Well, I don't know yet. It depends on how we go in the next leg. I mean, obviously the league is important, but European football, for the first time in our lifetime, Claire, I mean, we've got to enjoy it while we've got it. I wouldn't be too disappointed if we got to the group stages, and then obviously if we ended up going out in the group stages, it would set us free for the second half of the season to do well in the league. I don't think we'll do badly in the league. It's just a shame, really. But the home games shouldn't be a problem in Europe. But remember, Claire, we had 46 league games 2 years ago with a threadbare squad, and we went 23 games unbeaten. So it does happen. We played Saturday, Tuesday every time. So we've got 7 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go on my watch, and on Brandon's it's 8 minutes. But we're going off my timing at the moment. 9 minutes left. 0-0 here at St Mary's. Here's Bertrand. We've played just over 81 minutes. And here's Romeo. Chips the ball in now, but that's going to run into touch and behind for a goal kick. More games, I worry, when we get players injured this year. I think we'll be okay, Claire, as long as Defoe and Brady and one or two others stay injury free. I think we'll be okay. It's the way. And of course there is the January window should we need extra bodies to come in and just shore it up a bit. Of course Bidder is not in the 18 because he's not up to speed yet with the fitness levels. As Barnes has a shot, and Barnes hits it rather speculatively from 25 yards, and in the end McCarthy made a little bit of a hash of holding on to that, and Southampton just making a little bit of a hash of trying to get that away. And now Cork challenging hard, and that looked like a push, and the referee agrees. Free kick. And now Burnley's turn. Aloisi, the man, penalised. So midway inside the Southampton half, Burnley here, the first time in probably about 20-25 minutes, have got an opportunity here. Russ says, type in the comments of the play you think you should be man in the match using hashtag JBMOTM. It's important you use that hashtag. Very important indeed. 8 minutes left. Burnley free kick towards the back post. Ben Mee with a header, and they're all going for it. Lennon is there too, headed away by Ings. And Burnley here looking to nick something now from St Mary's. I know a point wouldn't be the worst result in the world should they get a point, but it looks offside against Danny Ings. Offside. My word, what a finish this is going to be. We'll be with you until about 20 past 3 this afternoon. McCarthy, the goalkeeper, has got Brandon Chariz's vote for man in the match, and thank you for using the hashtag. So here we are. We're into the last 7 minutes. McCarthy and Henrik, man in the match contenders. Who do you think will win man in the match? The most votes will be counted by Russ, and the winner will be announced at 90 minutes. So you've got 6 minutes to change the voting, otherwise it'd be down to me with the casting vote. I don't fancy the casting vote. I've had to do it twice this weekend already. And I looked a foul there on Barnes, but the referee not allowing it, and it's play on. Here's Redmond for Southampton on the right hand side. Redmond here chips it into the penalty area. Good one, header one there, and the ball breaks kindly for Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson now just carries it as far as it can, and he gets up towards Folks. Folks is there, and Vestergaard in with a challenge. Burnley have a throw in. Who's going to win it from here now? Or will it be a point apiece? Good tackle actually. Got the ball. Got the ball there. So both teams are brought on. Southampton have used all their 3 substitutes. Ings, Alarousi and Gabbiadini all on. Gabbiadini we've not seen pressures little of. Folks and Barnes for Burnley. Well, into the last 5 minutes of play. Good interception from Tarkowski, because that ball was going straight to Danny Ings if Tarkowski had not intercepted that. But it's back at Burnley again with Redmond. Redmond to Alarousi. Southampton here going for the kill. Ball played in again. Ben May cuts that out. May hooks it away. Up towards Folks. Loses out to Barnes. Can't find Barnes, I should say. 5 to go. Burnley hanging on here a little bit. Southampton had one cleared off the line, albeit an own goal attempt by Ben Mee. Ings towards the edge of the area, feeds it in there to Alarousi, and Alarousi gets the shot in, and Tarkowski in the nick of time got back and blocked it. Southampton knocking on the door. The Clarets on the brink here. Whoever concedes now, sure it will be game over. There'll be no way back. Tarkowski's had his usual marvellous game. You've got 4 minutes to choose your man in the match. Charlie Taylor going to come on for Burnley, the final substitution for the Clarets. And it's Gudmundsson that's coming off. Johan Berg Gudmundsson off. Now that's a strange one for me, but Taylor is a pacey player. I don't know if you're backing Ings for man in the match, but you've got to hashtag it, otherwise it doesn't count. So if you are voting for Ings as man in the match, hashtag it with JBMOTM. It has to be with the hashtag, otherwise it doesn't count. That's better. So a vote for Ings. Alarousi with the corner into the penalty area, and over the top it goes by Danny Ings' Adam 23 man in the match, ADM 23's man in the match. So at the moment we've got a vote for Henrik, we're going to vote for McCarthy, the goalkeeper for Southampton, and a vote for Ings. But we need an outright winner here, and you've got just over 3 minutes to find one. Can you change your vote? I suppose you can, but the original vote won't count. Who are you changing your vote to? As long as you hashtag it, I suppose it will let you off. Anyway, 3.5 minutes to go. It's going to be a kick to be taken here by Joe Hart. Southampton 0, Burnley 0. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time left to play. The voting will close at the end of the 90 minutes for the man in the match, and then it'll be left for me to describe the right. So it's 2 votes to 1 in favour of Danny Ings. So 2 votes for Ings, 1 for Henrik. And Danny Ings will win the award, which was maybe more remarkable as he's come on as a second half substitute, and he's only been on the field since 55 minutes in. And he has played well. That's caused Burnley 1 or 2 problems. Jack Gregory, 3 votes for Danny Ings. Looks like we're going to give a JB man in the match to Southampton, unless one of the Burnley lads score here. I don't think I'll be needed for a casting vote, which will be a relief to me in the commentary box, I'm sure, because it will allow me to concentrate on these final few minutes. Ings has done okay. Here's a chance now for Wilmina to come forward. Finds Redmond inside the centre circle. Turns away there from McCarthy. Rather from Westwood, I should say. Now then, real chance here for Southampton. And the ball rocked across and off the line almost. Burnley on the back foot here. Corner kick. And the ball played in, hooked away. Redmond for Southampton now. 30 seconds of normal time to go. And the cross in. Joe Hart's ball. Danny Sturridge has just scored for Liverpool. 4-0. They lead West Ham. Looks like a point apiece then for the Clarets. We're going to stoppage time here. 5 added minutes. Looks like Ings is going to win the reward. And Ross, if you can count up the votes, that would be fantastic. Because now we've got 5 minutes of stoppage time to concentrate ourselves on. Southampton have possession. The ball kicked away. Ben Mee with a header out. And that's going to be hooked away by Burnley, who are hanging on for a point. And at the end of the day, despite the missed chances in the first half, it wouldn't be a bad point. Throwing level with the area on the far side. Lamina for Southampton and halfway. Back inside again. Played a minute and a half of the 5. And Danny Ings has been confirmed as the man of the match. He got the most votes. So I didn't need to do a casting vote. Here's Stevens now. Stevens for Southampton. And Ings goes down. Ben Mee ushered it behind. It's a corner. Ings is hurt actually. The ball played in. Now did Ings get there first? I'm just having a look on the replay here. Boy, I don't think he got in the ball, Ben Mee. I think Southampton rather unfortunate there not to have a penalty there, perhaps. Ben Mee did take him. Referee's view viewed it as a goal kick, but it did look as if Mee touched him. Burnley maybe a little bit fortunate there. And to anybody who's got thinks I've got rose tinted spectacles, on that little bit of commentary alone, I wasn't. Burnley have a throw down level with the area. We play 2 minutes and 40 of the 5. Lawton to take the throw. Lawton with the throw. Back to Barnes. Barnes turns. Good ball in there. Folks is there, but can't stab it goalwards and behind for a goal kick. Still no goals. Barnes sending it in there, but Box couldn't get a positive touch. Here's Stevens now on halfway. Stevens plays it out. And Larisi now plays it out to the far side, and Redmond will keep it in play. Burnley have to be on their toes. We're 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the 5 added on, and there's the shot, and Joe Hart having to make a fantastic save to deny Danny Ings on the turn. The flag, I think, had gone up for offside. Turned away, right hand side of the penalty spot. Ings could turn there. I think he fouled Barnes actually. Hit it well on his right foot. Joe Hart made a cracking little save there. And it didn't matter anyway. We're inside the last minute. Burnley look as if they're going to escape here with a point. There was certainly Burnley's first half. It's been better for Southampton in the second half. They both dominated a half apiece, but it looks as if honours are going to be very much even at St Mary's here. That's a foul by Taylor. Just wastes a few more seconds. 40 seconds left within 5 minutes. And then Burnley should hopefully have a point here. Ball played in, it just went behind Ings. Westwood just hooks it away. 10 seconds left of the extra 5 to go. And that should be that. 3, 2, 1. We play 5 minutes. And we play no more. There goes the full-time whistle. Goalless at St Mary's. Burnley will be very relieved to have left Southampton with a point. And in the end, it was a battling point. Joe Hart with a smile on his face. 2 clean sheets in 3 days for him. Southampton were second best in the first half, but certainly up their game in the second half. Turned up the tempo on Burnley. Ben Mee almost heading towards his own goal in the second half. Should Burnley have had a penalty when Gudmundsson was taken down? Well, it's all with some buts and maybes, but it's a good point for the Clarets, a good point for Southampton. Southampton had the better of the second. Burnley certainly had the better of the first half, and I think on balance, on the true balance of play, I think a point and a draw is just about the right result. So there we are. That brings us to the end of our matches, our live commentaries this weekend. I can't wait to have a lie down. Thank you, Russ. So let me just point you in the direction of 2 commentaries during the midweek. On Wednesday night, Chris Whiteman will be your man in the commentary box as Real Madrid take on Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Super Cup. Join me at 7:30 with commentary from 7:45. Kick-off at 7:45. Chris will be the commentator on that one, and then join me on Thursday for the European games as Burnley take on Istanbul in the second leg of the Europa League. So thank you very much to everybody who's been on. It's been a very good afternoon. Point apiece, and we leave you with the news that Burnley have drawn 0-0 against Southampton, and invariably, I think it's, and to be fair, I think it's a very fair result. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all again on Wednesday. Until then, take care, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.